Okay. You're scamming yourself out of your potential. You're scamming yourself out of all the things that you can obtain in life. You're scamming yourself out of building and sculpting the body that you want, the statue that you want to resemble to people. You are scamming yourself out of learning new things. You're scamming yourself out of becoming your best self, as in your healthiest as can be self. You are scamming yourself out of what this world has to offer to you. I know that's a very bold approach to this, but that's seriously what the situation is right now. So a lot of people that have goals, that set their ambitions high, but yet aren't close to achieving them. And I'm not saying you need to achieve them now. Yes, there's steps getting to achieve those goals, but the thing about it is taking those steps towards achieving your goals, 9 times out of 10, especially with New Year's resolutions, people scam themselves out of their potential. They scam themselves out of the possibilities of what they can ultimately become. And it's frustrating. It's very upsetting in my mind, at least in my experience. And the fact of how we can scam ourselves out of our potential, literally scamming ourselves out of the glimpse of becoming our best selves. And I think on this, as in it's got to be social media. It's got to be these things that have sculpted our minds to be limiting, to think we're not good enough, to always compare ourselves, and steal our own joy of our own progress. And it's unfortunate. It's so upsetting. It's very unfortunate. It's very upsetting. I'll keep saying that. That's where we're at, and along our journeys, that's kind of where it goes. And it's not very positive way of looking at it, but that's the situation right now. That is literally the situation that is presently happening in this moment with ourselves. And if you're not scamming yourself out of it, but sometimes we end up scamming ourselves out of certain things, and we may not even realize it. But most importantly is how we work on ourselves, how we position ourselves, becoming our best selves, is up to us. And letting those limiting beliefs stop you, halt you, and what you want to become, what you want to do, and getting to that point to achieve it is stressful. It's stressful to put yourself in situations that you don't even know how they're going to work out, how they're going to resemble, and how they're going to play out. And I did this as a kid, and I scammed myself out of a lot of things out of life, to where I didn't really develop as a person until I was 16, 17. And it's unfortunate, but you play with the cards that you're dealt. And but the thing is, we have control. We can always play our cards and get better cards. We can always change our deck as time goes on. And a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people just see they get handed this one deck, a shitty hand of cards, and they're like, shit, I gotta deal with these cards. I gotta play this hand. But they don't realize that they can change the cards. They can, as they play, they don't need to keep their cards. They don't need to keep receiving cards that are bad, for how their life is gonna go. And I think on this, as in that perspective, when we're given cards, we can always deal them and get better cards. It's just in how we handle the direction of where we go in life. I hope that made sense. You don't always need to deal with the life that's handed to you with shitty cards. We are given shitty cards in the beginning. Some of us are handed the best cards in the deck. And sometimes people realize it and use it to their advantage, or they don't and they fail and they get a shitty deck. In life, I'm using this as a life principle, is whatever we're handed, we don't need to put a perspective with life in that situation, because once you put your mind in your life in that situation, you're always going to think you're dealt a shitty deck. And then throughout life, you're going to keep telling yourself, I was handed a shitty deck. And blaming things, blaming the system, blaming the government, blaming your parents, blaming religion, I mean, literally anything. There's people that blame everything, anyone, anything that's living, breathing, or just of a thing. And they think that blaming will make them feel better, but it really just, you keep digging that hole, you're not going to get out. You keep scamming yourself out of your full potential, out of acknowledging, like, becoming your best self, acknowledging where you're at right now. Even if you have a shitty deck of cards that life handed you, you can always get better cards. You have to have a mind that's built toward becoming a better you every single day. You have to look at and reflect every single day, how am I going to approach this? How am I going to get closer to my goals? How am I going to get closer to who I envision myself to be in the next 5 years, 10 years? Sometimes people don't do that. They just live day by day, which is good, but they live in a flow state to where they scam themselves out of propelling themselves in a direction that gets them to their goals, to their dreams, to their what they envision for themselves in their life. And it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of people in this world that do that, which is upsetting, but it's like a hard truth. It's a hard truth and a hard pill to swallow, knowing that we in life really scam ourselves out of our full potential. We scam ourselves out of the possibilities of what's more, what is available for us to earn, to work toward, to get closer if we keep taking steps, not skipping steps. This is also another thing too, is we scam ourselves, and I speak on this in my own experience. I've tried to be as raw and authentic in my videos as I can. I, and you, I'm certain, have skipped plenty of steps along your journey and have not realized that you're doing it. And until, if you have someone in your life that does this, where they'll tell you, hey, you're skipping steps, you're not staying to the process, you're not sticking with the process, you're trying to get to A and you're skipping all the way to E, when really you got to go to A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. That's a song. But that part alone is very, it's something that is a struggle to think. Just stick with it. Like, you just have to stick with the process, whatever you're working toward, whether it's building and sculpting yourself to your full potential, let's just say, as in like building your dream body, or gaining new knowledge that's going to get you closer to your goals, whether it's maybe like going to help you if you're in the social work, or if you're in football, you play football, whatever, and you're trying to learn a new route, like in the play, or more so of like, if you work a sales job, trying to learn new knowledge to become a better salesman, this and that. It's really gearing toward where you're going, where you want to go in your life, and know that you're responsible for it. It's literally you versus you and your journey. Don't let yourself scam yourself out of who you truly want to become. And that's really my 2 cents of the day, is just don't scam yourself. I know it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's really the most easiest thing that we end up doing at the end of the day. So don't scam yourself. It sounds weird, but that's really what happens at the end of the day. I appreciate all y'all. Give it a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. Subscribe if you want to. We have a Discord. Consider joining. It's in my profile. Other than that, see you in the next video.